Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I wanted to just introduce myself to this new channel and I wanted to share some information on health gut tonight. So my name is Nancy Olson and I have been interested in health and wellness for about 30 some years. Shortly after I graduated from high school, I became very ill and it led me down a journey of searching health and learning a lot about it. And I eventually became certified as a health coach. I also have a few other certificates of health. And tonight I wanted to share a little bit about gut health, which was one of the things that started me on this journey. So my focus mainly is on gut health that leads to weight loss. Some people may need only the gut health. Some people may need both, or you may only need weight loss, but in overall wellness, the gut is connected to a lot of that. The gut is your second brain. And so tonight I wanted to share a little bit about digestive issues and how it relates to your overall wellness. And so your gut health can rise from various causes, and it can lead you down a road that leaves you searching because you try different things over the counter and different things eventually if you've been dealing with a gut issue. I know many people that I talk to or that message me through my Facebook page always say that they've dealt with bloating or gas and it's always just been there, so they think it's normal, and it's not necessarily normal. Yes, it is normal that you pass gas, but not to the extent where you're so gassy it's hard to be around yourself, or to the point where you hate to leave the house because of gas or bloating. You can become very miserable with either one of those. So let me just start with, I've got kind of 5 different areas that I'd like to cover on this issue. And they're potential causes. They're not like this is the definite answer. And I also want to start out by saying I am not a doctor, so I want you to take this as part of your research and continue to research it on your own. And I'm going to start out with probably the most obvious, and that is thinking of what you eat. It's what you put into your body that you think is causing this issue. And sometimes this is a temporary thing. It's not always a this is for life kind of change. So let's start off with if you suddenly or maybe gradually over time you became sensitive to some foods. It might come from spicy foods, like you loved spicy foods and all of a sudden you can't handle that. It might come from fried foods. Fried foods are very bad on your microbiome and can set off that balance of good and bad bacteria. So it can come back to fatty foods, whether it's generally just fat on, let's say, meats, or if it's from fried foods like drive-thrus, deep fried, whatever. It doesn't, it can be even sweet fried foods, It can come from also like an intolerance that you have gotten over time, like to dairy or to gluten, or you've noticed like certain foods set you off. That could be something that has come over time. Of course, you can have an issue that is diagnosed through an allergy test or some other test that might bring up like celiac disease for gluten. It could just be that you're highly sensitive to some of that. And some of that can go away over time if you're sensitive to a certain food, if you get that gut back in balance. Another thing is the fiber intake. I know a lot of people that feel bloated will back off of fiber foods because they think that they're getting too much fiber. And not having enough fiber can also slow down your bowel movement through the digestive tract. So you're kind of backing off, but you're kind of causing another problem, right? So it's nice to make yourself aware of that, is kind of what I'm trying to get with that. Overeating or eating too quickly can also cause some of that. It can be that you're just putting so much in at a short pace. I know myself, I'm a fast eater because I hate cold food. I like food to be at the right temperature, and if I eat too slow, I feel like my food is not warm enough for me when it's meant to be a warm dish. So I know I take note that, I eat too fast, and, there are times where I will just say, wow, I better slow down. I've been eating for 5 minutes and I'm almost done. Like, you shouldn't be eating that fast. And that can cause a lot of gas and bloating just from the way you eat. Also, chewing gum can cause a lot of gas and bloating as well. So take note of that. If you're a gum chewer, and test it out. Stop chewing gum for a few days and see if that decreases, because that can be a big indicator for gas and bloating as well. Carbonated beverages can also cause that for some people. So take note of, some of these behaviors that you can change and test out if you notice a difference with that. A lot of those things as well aren't good for your gut balance as far as the good and bad bacteria, like drinking sodas. They're not good for the bacteria in your gut. So you're setting off that where you're not, it's giving bad, it's not helping you to feel better when you're constantly setting off the balance of the gut. The second one is some more like some lifestyle factors, and this is going to be like your stress, anxiety, lack of exercise, dehydration, and poor sleep. These all are because you probably have heard your gut is your second brain, and it really can set things off for the imbalance of your overall wellness. And if you can learn how to be less stressful, have less anxiety, and that can come from if you're not a person that exercises, to learn to exercise, to learn to go for a walk, to learn to do light resistance or light weights, can all help that as well. Because while you're doing that, your mind is typically running at other things, and it really helps to release hormones that are going to help you with mindset. And so I would, look at those areas in the lifestyle area and see what you can improve on. Another thing that helps or sets off the gut balance is infections and illnesses. And why I put this in this category is because over time, your gut can release, let's say, over time, like you're feeling healthy when you're a teenager, but over the years, you start feeling less and less healthy. And if you can recall back to when you were younger, having been on different antibiotics for different illnesses that come up, that really sets off your gut microbiome, and it takes a long time to build that up. And if you're not doing anything specifically to get that gut microbiome built up, you just constantly are fighting that, and it's never getting up to par if you're not giving it the right things. the right prebiotics and probiotics and different nutrients that it needs to get the good bacteria built up. So you're feeling out of balance. And so that a lot of times comes from different like infections and viral things that they put you on. An antibiotic is one of the most common medications that depletes the gut microbiome. Another thing is the fourth category that we'll touch on is chronic conditions. This is a lot of different things. It can be just severe IBS, severe bloating, cramping, irregular bowel movements, inflammatory intestinal tract. You can have constipation to diarrhea. You could have one or the other. It can be occasional or it can be all the time. These are kind of things that kind of make you take note that something isn't right, but a lot of times we don't go in and have anything done because we are just thinking it's just a thing that we're dealing with at the time, which it can be a little bit worse at times. But if you're not getting that gut microbiome built up, it just keeps depleting and you're constantly on this struggle bus. And then before you know it, you might have, a medical condition that you've been diagnosed with that relates back to the digestive system. So I always suggest, if you can, be more preventative and find that balance in the gut microbiome. Study that and really get down to it to help yourself overall for wellness. And then the other one that I kind of wanted to bring up, which I kind of brought up a little earlier in number 3, but it's medications and substances. So this can be anything from over-the-counter medications that we take for various reasons, allergies, pain, whatever it is over the counter. All of those can play into depleting the good microbiome, the good bacteria in your gut. Another thing is alcohol and caffeine, which I kind of touched on, sodas in number 2 as well. But those can all deplete the good bacteria in your gut. So if you think about, you go out occasionally with the girls or the family or whatever for drinks, those things, the constant beverages, whether it's soda or alcohol, are all depleting your good bacteria in your gut. And it may not seem like a lot because it depletes little by little by little, but can you see how this can build up to a bigger issue month after month after month, year after year after year, if you're never getting on top of building up that good bacteria? Now all of a sudden you constantly feel like you're sluggish, you have more mood swings, you're maybe more depressed, you have more anxiety, you have more stress. It's a lot connected to the gut. It really is. Simple things as far as like mood and your stress levels. If you learn to implement a lot of these things, building up the good microbiome, having a good exercise routine, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, will be amazing to transform your wellness. So that's what I wanted to cover today. I will be covering more gut-related things on this site. I will be covering weight loss on this site because a lot of those are connected. I will be sharing that here on this channel. Bye for now.